I can do what I want when I want to do it. I can do what I need when I need to get through it. When I need someone else, can't be too proud for help, but gotta look after myself. Sometimes it can get lonely, never living in the moment. When the sun is shining, hope that I'm reminded, like how the clouds keep changing. I'm always steady rearranging, going back to the basics of what a good day is. What a good day is. And that's exactly what the day is. But it's exactly what you make it. So please go wasted, and I'll do the same, even if it's raining. How could I complain? And my feels got me feeling some type of way. You always free to take a break. Hope you feel what I felt. You gotta look after yourself. Sometimes it can get lonely, never living in the moment. When the sun is shining, hope that I'm reminded, like how the clouds keep changing. I'm always steady rearranging, going back to the basics of what a good day is. 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 And that's exactly what the day is.
All right, y'all know what to do. It's that time. Welcome back in the building. Hopefully y'all are doing well. You know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. We're gonna get right into it. Shout out to everybody who's in the building, man. Oh, Rice Street is back. Let's go. Shout out to Rice Street. Rice Street, I thought your birthday was tomorrow. Don't you be in there lying to those people now. Maybe I got it wrong. All right, looks like we're good. Let me see how we looking up in here. Let's see. Ooh-wee. I'm off center, but we're looking all crispy and clean on the screen. I gotta fix this camera. That's gonna drive me nuts. There we go. Welcome, y'all. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the Music Morning Show. I'm your host, Classy Beats of ClassyBeats.com. Today, we've got an amazing show for y'all. This is gonna be a special one. We've got a lot of breaking news to get into. The lawsuits are flying everywhere. I have to say, man, if there were ever a time to get into the legal side of the music industry and what's been going on, this would be it. So I don't know. You can call it God. You just want to call it, maybe I haven't been up to date, but I cannot believe all the things that are happening, not only in the music industry from the legal side, but just legal things in general. So we're going to get into it. But first, I got to say what's up to the people, though. Shout out to everybody who's in here. Of course, we've got my awesome, amazing Amy is in the building, bright and early, showing love. Michi is up in here, says she was light number 2. Look at her go. Shout out to Michi, always showing love. My guy Les Cleaver is in the building. We've got My Thoughts Exactly just became a new member. Welcome to you. And shout out to all the members in the chat as well. I appreciate y'all continuing to show up and show love. We've got Valencia in the building, and we've got Ella Williams, Alejandra, I am Shout. Susan is in here as well. My guy Rice Street is back at it. Rice Street's gonna be the ripe old age of 22 tomorrow. Isn't that right, Rice Street? Shout out to Rice Street and happy early birthday to you, man. I appreciate you. You know that. We got Just Lee in here, Roberta. We've got, who else did I miss? We've got Ryan S is in the building, Monteresa, good to see you. We got Peter Steele. Shout out to Peter Steele. D is back at it. Mo Mack is in here. Libby, good morning. Walter, Waller Custom Leather is up in here. We've got Miss 86 is in the building as well. We also have, oh man, I know I missed a couple of y'all. Shout out to everybody who's dropping the ones in the chat though. He's gonna be 43. Happy early birthday, 43. My goodness. And Joshua Wilson said it's his birthday today. Shout out to all the, what is that? For those of y'all who are into signs, I think it's Taurus, maybe? I don't know. I don't be into that stuff. Happy early birthday to my guy, Rice Street. A big part of what we do here on this channel. Rice Street, I'm not gonna lie. We missed you the last couple days. You were about to get an email from me trying to find out where you were. So shout out to Rice Street. Always in here, always showing love, always supporting. And happy early birthday to you, man. Aquarius. Oh, okay. I don't know. Whatever. The young age of 43. I love it. And happy birthday to Joshua Wilson as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into it, y'all. If you could do me a favor, please make sure you like the video on your way in. Not only is it free, not only does it help the channel to grow, but lets the algorithm know that you guys are enjoying the show and it shares the video with more people. All right, I will also be reading super chats throughout the show as well. So thank you to everybody who's been supporting, sending super chats. Y'all do not know how much I appreciate the support that you give during the show. Even in super thanks in the comments, I see all of y'all that leave them and send the cash apps as well. So thank you as well. I appreciate y'all for showing some love. Aquarius. Okay, I was close. I don't know, man. I don't be knowing those things. I don't even know the birthstones and all that. Oh man, how is everybody doing today? I know a couple of y'all here in the South are getting some snow. My kids are disappointed because we had some flurries yesterday, but nothing stuck here in Atlanta. I've got family in South Carolina. They were sending me pictures saying they got some snow. So hopefully y'all are doing well. Rice Street said, finna turn this out office. Oh man, shout out to y'all. Happy birthday, and appreciate y'all giving the happy birthdays in there too. Yep, Libby's in South Carolina says it's snowy. And I know a lot of y'all are getting some of this nasty weather too. We have snow in Lithonia. See, I need to drive an hour or so north and then maybe I'll get some snow. It's weird because where I'm at in Atlanta, it seems like the snow it went around Atlanta for some reason. Augusta got some snow, man. That's what? All right, I won't tell the kids because they're gonna be disappointed. Anyway, hopefully y'all are doing well. Hopefully everybody is safe and staying warm out there. Let's go ahead and get into the show. And again, if y'all could, please make sure you like the video. We're gonna be moving today because we've got a lot of topics to get into. First up, man, speaking of Atlanta, oh gosh. Y'all know we talked about what's going on with the Department of Justice and the agreement they came to with the Sheriff's Office and Fulton County in general in reference to what's going on at Rice Street and the Fulton County jail system. Well, as we're trying to clean up things here in Fulton County, they're trying to work on Rice Street. We have another victim of the Fulton County jail system less than 24 hours after he had been locked up. All right, we're going to listen to the story here, find out what's going on. And I guarantee y'all, this gentleman is going to be a part of this class action lawsuit that's taking place and ongoing as we speak. Let's see what happened.
Inmate is in the hospital as we speak after an attack inside a cell at the Fulton County Jail on Rice Street. The attack comes just a couple of weeks after the Sheriff's Office entered a court order agreement with the United States Justice Department, or the DOJ, to improve safety and living conditions at the jail. The agreement followed a 16-month-long investigation by the DOJ that found conditions were unconstitutional, unlawful, and dangerous. 11 Live's Cody Alcorn live tonight in Atlanta from the Fulton County Jail. So, Cody, what do we know about this latest attack?
Too many videos.
Well,
from
Ron,
that
we
angle.
know that this attack was captured on video by a cell phone smuggled into the jail. This morning, the inmate's mother actually reached out to me after this video was loaded onto social media and sent to her. She was trying to get a hold of the sheriff's office, was getting nowhere,
man.
So she turned to 11 Alive. In that video, what it shows is a shank in one of the inmate's hands and at least 3 other inmates stomping on the inmate's head.
This is happening in prison, y'all. Stay out of the system, man. And I was just saying, we've seen too many news reportings taking place at this angle right in front of Rice Street. But this is the place that they're still trying to keep open. They feel like it doesn't need to be shut down. And things are improving, right? All right, let's listen to what happened. Imagine how many attacks are not reported on the news. That's a great point.
And at least 3 other inmates stomping on the inmate's head. The attack too violent to show.
I saw that knife too, and I heard my son screaming. And now he's in the hospital, so there was a knife.
The Fulton County Sheriff's Office confirming the attack but denying Malik Jones was stabbed. His mom worried her son will never see his day in court.
They're going to finish what they started.
Jones was booked on Saturday, charged with murder, accused of killing a man inside this apartment complex along Cheshire Bridge Road. Atlanta police say the call came in just before 8 a.m.
It was a shock. It was a shock. 7 o'clock in the morning. He's not even a morning person. So that was definitely a shock. For him to even be in an environment like that.
Saying her son, who's from St. Charles, Maryland, has only been in Metro Atlanta for a few months.
He's been down there trying to chase his music career. He tried to call me once yesterday. The last I spoke to him, he was, doing some music stuff.
However, she has no idea what happened on Saturday morning here in Northeast Atlanta.
As a parent, I feel for both sides. I honestly don't know my son's side, and I don't believe that my son would do anything like that. And I feel for the family who lost their son as well. I mourn and I sympathize with them.
All right.
Sad, man.
Now, at last check, Jones was still in the hospital, expected to be released soon. But again, his mom is worried about his safety here real quick. In the video, which again was uploaded on social media, it was captioned, "Touch one of mine, you get tortured for life. Jail won't save you." His mom believes this was in retaliation for that shooting on Saturday. As of tonight, police have not identified this victim, nor have they released a motive in that deadly shooting. Live in Atlanta, Cody Alcorn, 11 Alive News.
Cody,
yeah, and shout out to Cody. We're not going to show the video here. As they mentioned, it's pretty graphic. So again, some more work that needs to be done here in Fulton County. I want to read some more of the details here from 11 Alive in this article, but this man was in there less than 24 hours. He just came to Atlanta and allegedly already got involved in some BS. Sad to see, man. And you never know. After 24 hours, he got to talking to people that quick and they found out who he was. Wild, man. What did they say here about Mr. Jones? Fulton County inmate remains hospitalized after a brutal attack on Sunday inside a cell at the Rice Street Jail. The attack, which was recorded on a contraband cell phone, has raised further concerns about the safety and conditions of the troubled facility. It doesn't matter. It can be salvaged. It can be improved, they said, right? Not to mention that this was posted on and sent to his mother and posted on social media. The attack also comes just 15 days after the Department of Justice reached a court-ordered agreement with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office and the county to implement a corrective action plan. The plan aims to improve safety and living conditions following a 16-month civil rights investigation that found the jail's conditions to be inhumane, violent, and unsanitary. And again, we have 2 lawsuits from that. One from the estate of a gentleman that died while he was staying at Rice Street, clearly had some mental health issues and wasn't taken care of. And then, of course, the other lawsuit is spearheaded by Shannon Jackson, aka Shannon Stillwell, and that's a class action lawsuit, which I'm sure Mr. Jones and his family will be a part of. A video of the attack shows at least 3 inmates stomping on the victim's head while another inmate wields a shank. The inmate's head is then forced into the cell's toilet. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office confirmed the attack but denied that the victim, identified as Malik Jones, was stabbed. Jones, who was booked on Saturday on a murder charge, was in the hospital and then later released Sunday, which is crazy. His mother expressed fear for her son's life, and we heard in the interview, I saw that knife too, and I heard my son screaming, and now he's in the hospital, she said. I'm worried that they're going to finish what they started. It's a valid concern. He's only 29 years old, and he's accused of killing a man in an apartment complex on the Cheshire Bridge Road in Northeast Atlanta. The Atlanta Police Department received a call about the shooting just before 9 a.m. on Saturday. It was a shock, his mother said, about learning of the charge against her son, 7 o'clock in the morning. He's not even a morning person. So that's definitely a shock. Well, I mean, if you're trying to make it in a music career, most people are in the studio late at night all the way until early in the morning. So if you're not a morning person, if you're coming here to be a rapper, that's a part of the game. She described Jones as a rapper who moved to Metro Atlanta from St. Charles, Maryland a few months ago to pursue his career. He's been down there trying to chase his music career, she said. Last time I spoke to him, he was doing some music stuff. Well, we'll see. Despite the accusations against her son, his mother extended her sympathy to the victim's family. As a parent, I feel for both sides. She said, I don't honestly know my son's side, and I don't believe that my son would do anything like that. I mourn and sympathize with them. That's an interesting take from a parent. She didn't say, oh, my baby didn't do it. She said, hey, listen, I haven't heard his side. I'm just sorry that this happened. I respect that. I respect that for sure. Possible retaliation. So here's his mother's concern and what Fulton County should be concerned about as well. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office confirmed it is investigating the attack. It may have been in retaliation to Saturday morning's killing. The recording of the attack, which was uploaded to social media, was shared with Jones's mother, who sent it to 11 Alive News. It was captioned, touch one of mine. As we heard, you get tortured for life. Jail won't save you. As of Sunday night, the victim of the Cheshire Bridge Road shooting has not been identified, and police have not disclosed what led up to the homicide. Fulton County officials continue to face scrutiny as they work to address the longstanding issues at the Rice Street facility. The jail has been plagued by reports of violence, overcrowding, and inadequate resources. Again, another victim of the Fulton County jail system, another person who's going to join in on this class action lawsuit, and it's only going to build as time goes on, because it seems like Fulton County, the Department of Justice, Fannie Willis, the mayor of Atlanta, as they mentioned in the last press conference we watched, they said, hey, this can be fixed. Things can be done. We're going to take care of it. And these aren't going to stop if they continue to keep things the way they were. You even saw, I don't know if y'all noticed, in the news report from the video they filmed inside of Rice Street, it showed inmates just lined up against the walls in front of the cell doors on beds. I don't know what it's going to take, but man, I pray no one who's innocent and no one who's in this jail system gets attacked or becomes a victim of this system, because a lot of things need to change. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments and in the chat. And shout out to, I see you in there, Les. Shout out to Les Cleaver as well. We also have Michelle Warden in the building. It said hashtag free yak. Hit that like button. She's been a member for 1 month. Yeah, and even with Yak Gotti, Yak Gotti, again, is the only one who was found innocent in this YSL trial, and he's still in jail because of things that happened while he was in jail. It's crazy, man. Les says Rice Street jail system's not improving. I don't know what's going to agree. Some deserve to be pardoned, while I feel others need to be prosecuted. Yeah, and it's weird that they just picked up this guy on a murder charge. I don't know what could have led them to believe it was him. I guess we'll find out more information on that. If y'all want me to follow up on this story, I definitely will. And I have a feeling, again, this isn't the last time we're going to hear something about Mr. Malik Jones, because as I mentioned, class action lawsuit is underway and he can just be the newest addition. Les Cleaver says, as Classy says, it's better not to get into the system. And that's the thing, though. I say this, not get in the system, but you never know. I mean, what if Mr. Jones was just in the area and someone identified him? He got locked up because maybe the police saw that there was probable cause, or that maybe he was the person that committed the crime. He got locked up. He started talking. Hey, what you in here for? Man, they think I killed this guy over in the Cheshire apartments. Oh, that was you? I don't care. Happens all the time, unfortunately. But thank y'all again. And shout out to everybody who's liked the video so far. We got over 200 of y'all in the building and 150 likes. So over 50% of you, almost 100% of you like the video. If y'all could, please make sure you like the video as we get into our next topic. We're going to talk about A$AP Rocky. I know many of y'all have probably heard news about what's going on with A$AP Rocky. We're going to get into this story a little bit. The trial is starting soon. They actually have jury selection going on right now in the A$AP Rocky trial. So the trial is going to be starting shortly. We'll have to see how the jury selection goes, but we're going to get more information on that. But again, when it comes to A$AP Rocky, he was in court just the other day trying to figure out what they're going to do moving forward. And of course, jury selection is starting. He was offered a plea deal, and A$AP Rocky said, man, I'm not taking a plea deal. If you don't know the story behind what happened with A$AP Rocky and why he's in this situation in the first place, basically, he's a part of the A$AP group, we'll call them. We're not going to use the other G word. We'll let Fannie Willis handle that. And he had beef with another member in the group. Him and the member were going back and forth because of something that happened, because a third member of the group, someone they were friends with, had passed away. And I guess whoever A$AP Rocky was beefing with, he got upset because he didn't think A$AP Rocky paid for his funeral or paid for him to be buried, to take care of his family. Turns out later on, A$AP Rocky actually did do that. Anyway, move on later. A$AP Rocky finds out, and it was A$AP Relly. A$AP Relly was traveling. A$AP Rocky finds out where he is, and A$AP Rocky says, hey, where are you at? A$AP Relly gives him the wrong location. Then he ends up meeting up with A$AP Rocky at some point. A$AP Rocky, they have an altercation. He pulls out a gun, allegedly, fires the gun, and then it goes downhill from there. So now A$AP Rocky is in this situation, and it's interesting how everything is playing out, because we're going to hear how his attorney is going to defend him and what they're alleging actually happened in this instance. But we'll get into that here in a second. What does XXL magazine say over on X? A$AP Rocky turns down a plea deal on the first day of his firearm assault trial in LA. Rolling Stone's Nancy Dillon reports. Prosecutors offered the rapper 3 years of probation, a 7-year suspended prison sentence, and 180 days in county jail if he pled guilty to one count of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. Rocky's being accused of shooting A$AP Relly during a dispute in Hollywood, California in November of 2021. Now, seeing that moving forward, we may be a little bit biased because of all the plea deals that we've seen in this YSL trial, and that we've covered it a lot here. This actually doesn't sound like a bad deal, but A$AP Rocky is maintaining his innocence, and we're going to get into here in a second what his lawyer is saying actually happened and why A$AP Rocky decided to turn down that deal. So here's what happened in court when he rejected the plea offer.
I wanted to know, is there an offer from the prosecution to Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what is the offer?
The offer is as follows. Go ahead, counsel.
The defendant would plead guilty to count 1, assault with a semi-automatic firearm. It's violation of 245B, and admit the allegation that he personally used a firearm pursuant to the allegation under 12022.5A.
A$AP Rocky there and his attorney Joe.
In exchange, he'd be placed on formal probation.
Hold on. Are you aware, is the defense aware of this offer?
We proceeded in writing, Your Honor. We discussed it.
All right, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
So he pleaded to those charges. He'd be placed on probation for 3 years with 7 years state prison suspended. He'd have to serve 180 days in the county jail, complete 480 hours of community service.
Oh,
52
480 hours. Oh my gosh.
program, a gun safety course, and surrender any firearms that he has in his custody.
All right, I got the community service, I got the gun safety, what was it, anger management, is that what you said?
Yeah, 52 weeks anger management.
And Your Honor, we wanted to make sure that the defendant.
That's crazy.
understood. We've said.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna ask him, is he aware of this offer and how he feels about it?
We just wanted to, from the people's perspective, Your Honor, make sure the counsel understands, the defendant understands, that if he's convicted, his max on this case is 24 years. We're gonna be asking very likely for a sentence that's gonna be somewhere 10, 12 years in state prison. And he's gonna have.
Sheesh, y'all hear that? And shout out to Megan Kunit for this video. I'll make sure I'll leave a link to this in the description so y'all can go check her out. Megan is actually going to be covering this trial as well. She's going to be in the courtroom. So we'll probably be hearing a lot from her on this channel. But he said the maximum sentence is going to be 24 years. And the district attorney, or the prosecution, we should say in this case, said, hey, listen, judge, make sure you let him know that if he doesn't take this plea, which I think is a great plea, he could be facing 24 years. Most likely will get 12 if he's found guilty. Yikes. LA don't play.
10, 12 years in state prison. And he's going to have to serve, depending on CDCR's different credits, which seem to be changing. Originally it was 85%. They're still serving 2/3. But 2/3 of that time is a lot of time in state prison. We just want to make sure that he is aware and understands for issues later, if he's convicted and there are issues of ineffective assistance, I didn't understand.
He's making the pitch right now.
That he's in court understanding that that's what he faces if he's convicted.
All right, Mr. Tacopina and Mr. Siegel, did you discuss this offer with your client?
In detail.
Mr. Mayers, do you agree with that?
Yeah, they spoke to me about it in detail, Your Honor.
Did they fully explain to what the offer is to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you feel about it?
I respectfully decline, thank you.
All right, you understand that you never know what a jury's gonna do. If it
What do y'all
happens
think?
that it doesn't go your way, people who are convicted of this crime, they go in custody and they go to prison. Are you aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because you're not gonna get any special treatment, your status as an entertainer, your status as a significant other of Rihanna, that's not gonna go to your benefit and it's not gonna go to your harm. I'm gonna treat you like I would anybody else who's sitting on in that chair. So you are aware that if convicted, you'll go in custody and it's very likely you'll get a significant prison sentence. You are aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm well aware.
All right, then you're not interested in the people's law.
Oh, man.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then that takes care of it for appellate purpose. Okay.
Your Honor, could I just raise one more thing? We don't have, can I just front one more thing? We don't have to deal with it now.
Go ahead.
One other thing I just put in the email, and we don't have to do it now, we have time.
Hold on, let me get it.
Yes, sir.
I don't.
And I'm going to let y'all go watch the rest of this video on Megan's YouTube channel. But what do y'all think about that, man? You've got 90 days in jail. Again, we've seen the issues with Rice Street. So being in jail it's not a walk in the park. So I'm sorry, not 90 days, 180 days. So 6 months. 6 months in jail. And then you get probation. And then you get all the community service on top of that, other things. And if you make it through that 6 months, you've got this on your record. I don't know. I mean, he's got a lot of faith in his attorney. So shout out to Joe. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name because I'm going to mess it up. But either way, what would y'all do in that situation? Let me know. Let's get into this article from Megan. As I mentioned, she's going to be in the courtroom. So you'll be hearing a lot of her as we cover a lot from her as we cover this trial. She said ASAP Rocky rejects a plea deal as the DA decries ambush prop gun defense in assault trial. So they're saying it was a prop gun. It wasn't even a real gun. Dang. And y'all stick around too. If you're watching this on the replay or in a separate video, we're actually going to play the video of what happened during the altercation. So y'all will get to see that. Rapper ASAP Rocky on Tuesday rejected a plea offer in his gun assault case that asked him to serve 180 days in jail, as his lawyers said in the court for the first time that he was armed with a prop pistol, but never pointed it at the victim. Just to let y'all know, with California gun laws are terrible. And they prosecuted very, very strictly. So when it comes to having a gun in California, you can't play around with that. So something to keep in mind. Prosecutors wanted Rocky to plead guilty to a single felony assault count. He is not a convicted felon. He's never had a felony before, and admit he used a gun, then served 3 years on probation with a 7-year suspended prison sentence. He'd serve 480 hours of community service after leaving jail, and he'd have to give up his firearms. He faces a maximum sentence of 24 years in prison, and prosecutors said Tuesday that he'll likely recommend 10 to 12 years in prison if he's convicted at trial. That's scary, man. Can y'all imagine? Rocky told Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Mark S. Arnold his attorneys discussed the deal in detail, Your Honor, he said, and I respectfully decline. Thank you. All right. You understand that you never know what the jury's going to do. If it happens that it doesn't go your way, the people who are convicted of this crime, they go into custody and they go to prison. And we heard this back and forth before, right? Jury selection began on Tuesday, which was yesterday, with 106 people. About 15 were dismissed for hardship, including related to recent fires in LA. Oh, that's unfortunate. And one was dismissed after he said he doesn't believe people should own guns and can't treat gun owners fairly. It's understandable. Arnold told the prospective jurors that Mr. Mayers is an entertainer whose stage name is A$AP Rocky. And then his attorney, Joe, told the judge Rocky and Rihanna don't have a marriage certificate. So A$AP Rocky called Rihanna Rocky's life partner. Okay. His life partner is also an entertainer. Her name is Rihanna. She is a singer and an actress, Arnold said. One potential juror is a famous TV executive who said she sees the same chiropractor as Rihanna. Oh, wow. I think I support hip hop artists from 1995 to 2009 in my profession. I am still attached to the community, she said. Are you willing to treat Mr. Mayers or A$AP Rocky as you would anybody else who sits in that chair? Arnold asked. She answered, of course. Dang, why would you say yes? I'd be like, oh, nah, sorry, I can't do it. Can I go home now? Judge Arnold and the attorneys are questioning 12 people at a time. 4 in the first group of 12 said they'd heard of A$AP Rocky before coming into court, and 2 said they'd never heard of Rihanna before, including one man who said he knew who Rocky was. Joe Tacopina, I'm probably saying it wrong, so sorry, Joe. I apologize. Joe asked if anyone believed hip hop artists and rappers more prone to violence than other people. One man said yes, and he also said yes when Joe asked, you think that if they sing about it in a rap song, they must have experience with it in real life? And then he asked, if you were him, who would you want you sitting in judgment? And the man answered, of course not. Another man said he doesn't want his children listening to music about guns, drugs, and sex. I used to love it, but then I had a kid, he said. Are you going to look at him, A$AP Rocky, in a different light because of your feelings? No, depends on the evidence. Judge Arnold interviewed A$AP Rocky. He's a hip hop artist, the judge said. That doesn't mean he did this. He asked if anyone believes otherwise, and all said no. I think she meant to put, he asked them if anyone believes otherwise, and all said no. What he does for a living has no bearing on these crimes he's accused of, the judge said. The prospective jurors are to report back to the courthouse today at 10:30. After they left on Tuesday, Rocky's lawyer, Chad Siegel, said the pool should be stricken because it contained only 5 people who are black. Oh, gosh. That's 4.7% of the pool. When the black people comprise 9% of the population from which the pool is drawn. Arnold rejected the argument and said, there's no authority that requires any particular percentage on ethnicity on the jury. Yep, it just has to be a jury of your peers, right? Rocky, 36, was arrested on April 2022 and is out of custody on a $550 $50,000 bond. Police found several firearms in his home. Again, not illegal. He is charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault with a firearm for the November 6, 2021 confrontation in Hollywood with a now former friend from high school, Terrell Relly Efron. All right, that's a lot of money for that bond. Surveillance video shows Rocky with what happened, or with what appears to be a gun, as he and Relly push each other, and other videos track their movements to another area where investigators say Rocky fired shots. The shooting, however, is barely visible in a far corner of the video. Prosecutors have another video that does not show the video, but includes audio of apparent gunfire. So if y'all want to see that, we're actually going to get into what happened. I'm going to show you guys the video of the alleged shooting and altercation here shortly. But let me know what y'all think about Rocky not taking this deal, I should say, and standing on business. Is it going to be a good look for him? Is he possibly going to be facing 10, 12, 24 years in prison? Or do y'all think he's good? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, and y'all let me know what you think in the comments. $550,000 on bail, facing 24 years. That's risky. That's super risky. We got a couple of super chats that came in too that I didn't read. Shout out to everybody. Thank y'all again for liking the video and the super chats. My thoughts exactly became a gold member. Thank you so much, My Thoughts Exactly, and welcome to the gold side. Shout out to everybody who's a member too. I know y'all have probably seen some of the videos we've got dropping later today. As a member, you get a lot of other benefits, including the ability to preview content before it's published live on YouTube. So shout out to everybody who's a member in here. I appreciate y'all as well. When we got Connie said, I've never seen the video, so you're going to see it in a second. Ryan S just became a member as well. Shout out to Ryan. Gigi Lynn is in the building. Good morning. Says, I'm late, but here. Hello, chat. Shout out to you. And thanks again to Amy reminding y'all to like the video. Speaking of exclusive videos, if y'all haven't checked out the Patreon yet, I've got the Patreon. We just started over the weekend, so y'all make sure you check it out. We're going to be posting some videos over there through the next couple weeks. I'm going to give you some behind the scenes look at not only this show, we'll give you some inside looks into what's going on behind the scenes in a lot of this trial. I'll be posting documents there, and I'll even talk to y'all about some of the legal issues that are going on here with the channel. It's getting wild out here, and I'm not going to talk about it here on YouTube just because there's still a lot of things in works. I'll say that, but make sure y'all tap into the Patreon because I'll definitely be talking about it over there. We're going to have live panels, live Q&As as well. So it's going to be a good time. Just started it over the weekend. If y'all want to sign up, the link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. All right, let's check out what actually happened in this altercation between A$AP Rocky and A$AP Relly. Now, before we get into it, I do want to go into this article and read what Megan says that A$AP Relly testified to. And again, I'll leave a link to this article in the description. So Relly's saying what happened was that he and Rocky were getting into an altercation. Rocky fired 3 or 4 shots, one of which grazed 3 of his knuckles. Now, were they able to prove this? We don't know yet. The trial still hasn't started. But if you're getting into an altercation with somebody, I mean, odds are you're going to get scraped up a little bit. So we don't know what went on there. Anyway, that's what he said. Relly also said the confrontation stemmed from an argument about Rocky's promise to pay for a dead friend's body to be flown from New York. All right. A day before the altercation, Relly said he was in his friend Jabari A$AP Bari's car when he heard Rocky insult him on a phone call. Beef, man. It's wild that grown men beefing, but whatever. Relly said he messaged a friend of A$AP Rocky and told him, I don't give a about this ASAP-ish no more. ASAP stands for always strive and prosper. Relly described it as a conglomerate of young men who have many different talents. Relly and Rocky met when they attended the same high school in New York. Police didn't find shell casings at the scene of the shooting, and Relly gave the investigators shell casings that he said he recovered himself after returning to the area with his girlfriend. Relly is expected to testify again on trial. So basically, Relly said, "Oh, y'all didn't find something? Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh yeah, here's a shell casing for you. I know y'all couldn't find it, but I remember what happened. I've got the shell casing right here. All right, come on, Relly." Rocky's team hasn't said if Rihanna will appear in court to support him, but Judge Arnold has said she's welcome to do so. Okay. Now, what is his defense saying? This is very important. Prosecutor calls prop gun defense a straight ambush. So they're mad about how they're going to defend ASAP Rocky. Before jury selection began on Tuesday, Rocky's lawyer, Joe T, revealed in court for the first time that he plans to tell the jury Rocky was carrying a prop or starter gun, which doesn't fire bullets, but never pointed it at Relly and apparently fired it only as a warning after Relly followed him. Prosecutors complained in court that Joe didn't tell them about the fake gun defense until late Monday. Oh man, prosecution's going to be in trouble. "This is a straight ambush," said John Lewin, Los Angeles County Deputy District Attorney, calling it a brand new defense from a witness we've never been able to talk to. Joe said he didn't take notes when he interviewed the witness, Jamel Deshaun Phillips, who raps under the name ASAP Tooley. This is not a minor witness. This whole case is based on the witness's statement, Lewin said. Prosecutors want to interview Phillips and another defense witnesses, Rocky's tour manager, Louis Levin, before he takes the stand. But Joe said in his email, they don't want to talk. That doesn't mean that you don't get the opportunity to try. So before they take the stand, you can try to talk to them, Arnold said. If they agree to talk to you, fine. If they refuse, that's their right. Prosecutors said that Joe previously said Levin will testify about Rocky's use of the firearm for security, as well as threats as such as attempted home invasion by stalkers. Then on Monday night disclosed a new statement talking about this prop gun defense. Arnold said any oral or written statements from the potential witness must be disclosed to opposing counsel at least 30 days before the trial. He also said Joe should have mentioned the starter gun defense when they met in chambers during last week's pre-trial conference. So it seems like they were ambushed a little bit, but hey, if he's allowed to do that by the law, you got to be prepared for it. So let's actually go to another video again from Megan Kuniv. Shout out to Megan. The link to this full video will be in the description. This is actually going back to some of the preliminary hearing, actually showing the evidence and the video of what happened in the altercation, what the police did during their investigation, and what they saw as they were looking at the scene. So let's get into it.
Have the detective go through it. Detective showing you equals 13. Do you recognize this to be the same area that we've been talking about?
Yes.
And where the number 1 in the red box is on this exhibit, would that be very generally the area where that camera was located?
Yes, here.
And would the green arrow with the triangle around it generally depict the direction that camera was facing?
Yes, the camera was facing in a northerly direction.
Okay. Did either you or your partners collect video from that location?
Yes.
Do you remember specifically who collected the video?
Yes, it was ultimately collected by Detective Zaria with assistance from our Technical Investigations Division, one of our techs.
And Zaria, is that spelled Z-O-R-I-L-L-A?
That's correct.
And after Detective Zaria collected the video, did you discuss with him that that was the location where he collected it from?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to review raw video from that?
I did.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go, let's stay with that same building, 6200 Hollywood Boulevard. Did you collect any video from any portion of the building along Vista Del Mar?
Yes, I did.
And would that be depicted on People's 13 here?
Yes.
Can you identify that for the court?
Yes, that would be a building here identified as number 2, which is on Vista Del Mar, just north of Selma.
I'm sorry, I meant the building at 6200 Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Yeah, my apologies. So, did you collect surveillance video from the area of Vista Del Mar that's specifically
They got the whole thing on tape.
6200 Hollywood Boulevard?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
almost.
And where would that be depicted on this exhibit?
Up here, marked 3 and 4.
All right. The camera's marked as number 3 here. Were there 2 different cameras at that location?
Yes.
Can you describe for the court how those cameras were oriented?
Yes, 3 had, there was 2 cameras facing, one facing kind of in a easterly direction, another one kind of offset, kind of facing in a westerly direction. So one east, one west. And then camera number 4 was a camera facing out from, I believe it was a loading dock, facing out westerly onto El Centro, which is the first major street that goes up to Hollywood Boulevard, east of Argyle.
Okay, the cameras at number 3 on People's 13 here, were those cameras, can you describe kind of where they were on the building? Were they oriented high, facing down, or?
They've got cameras everywhere in
LA.
LA.
Best describe them as kind of at the street level, facing out from a window.
Oh, I apologize,
So
Joe.
they would probably be at height, window height level.
Okay.
So when you say out from a window, behind the glass, in front of the glass?
Yes, out from glass.
Thank you.
Was that a private residence?
Yes,
Okay. So it would have been inside of the residence facing out towards the street?
that's correct.
And did you or your partners collect that video?
Yes,
Do you remember who it was that collected it?
yes, that was collected by Detective James King. That was a video that was forwarded to him by the resident.
And would that be K-I-N-G? How do you spell his last name?
Yes, K-I-N-G.
And after Detective King received it, did he send it to you?
Yes, he did.
And did you have a chance to review the raw video from that?
I did.
Besides video, was there anything else collected at that location?
From location 3 here?
Yes.
No,
Did the cameras at location 3 also have audio?
they did.
Okay. You've already talked about the camera number 4. I believe you said that was above a loading dock?
I believe it was adjacent to, or just above the loading dock.
Okay. And which direction did that camera face?
So primarily, it faced in a easterly direction.
And would that have captured El Centro Avenue?
Yes, captured the sidewalk and partial view of the street.
Okay. Did you or any of your partners collect that video?
Yes,
How was that video collected?
that was part of the overall video that was collected from 6200 by Detective Zaria with assistance.
Okay, so essentially the same as camera number, what's labeled as number 1 on People's 13?
That's correct.
All right. And did you watch the video footage from that camera?
I did.
Okay, lastly, I want to direct your attention to 1616 Vista Del Mar. Do you see that location depicted on People's 13 here?
Yes, I did.
And which location is that?
That is marked number 2 here.
Okay. Did you personally observe those cameras when you were canvassing for video?
Yes,
Were you able to actually watch the video at that location?
yes, I was.
Yeah, they got.
And ultimately, did you or your partners collect that video?
Yes.
I mean, if you're again, these people plan this all out, and you're gonna do this in front of a camera. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. This is LA. This is in the area where I don't know. Y'all make it make sense to me. It's wild. Crazy.
Your Honor, I'm pulling up the drive that was previously marked as People's Exhibit 9. And Detective, just showing you the files, I'm gonna go by the first one, 1616 Vista Del Mar. Do you recognize the 2 applications that are in that folder?
Yes.
And would that represent the raw footage that you collected from that location?
Yes, that's the wrong image.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the next folder, which is labeled 6200 Hollywood Boulevard. And in this, there are 3 folders labeled camera 1, 2, and 3. I'm just going to open camera 1.
All right, here's the
Would this
altercation.
represent the video that you received from the location number 3 on People's 13?
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, the third folder is labeled 6200 Hollywood Boulevard WNPM. Would this represent the video that you collected from locations 1 and 4 on People's Exhibit 13?
That's correct. That's the video that's going to those locations.
Okay. Now I'm going to play the combined video. And Your Honor, I'm just going to play it in its entirety, and then I'll ask follow-up questions.
What is this today?
It's still People's 9.
All right, here we go. Here's the altercation. So you see, all right, so you see the gun. Dang, you can see the gun right there. And if we rewind a little bit, you see him pull it out earlier. But he's saying, Rocky's saying he never pointed at anybody. Let me see if I could go forward a couple frames. Yeah, you can see it right there. They must not have known there was a camera there.
These niggas lacking.
Come on, man. Now, you don't get to see when the shots are fired because the camera angle wasn't able to capture that. So, allegedly, the shots were fired, I guess we should say. Crazy. You got one of them running away from the scene. And as we heard, Rocky actually admitted to firing the gun one time, but again, it's a prop gun, so there wouldn't be a shell casing, right? There you can hear it. So he fired it twice. Did y'all hear that? Let me rewind it. You can hear the shots. It sounds like he fired it twice. In the article, it said he fired it once as a warning. Yeah. I mean, prop guns make the same sounds as a regular gun, so it's possible. And they said, oh no, we gotta get out of here. That's a good point. And it's funny because really in conversations before with other members of the ASAP group, he was saying, they were saying, Rocky's not about that life. He's not going to do anything. They were probably shook when they saw this whole thing go down. interesting thing was, I guess Rowley said that a bullet allegedly grazed his hand, but you don't really see any blood here. You don't see him checking his hand, looking at anything. Oh. He pulls out his phone. I mean, having a prop gun is smart. I agree. In California, man, I don't know. Looks like he's trying to figure out where they went.
It's almost done.
That's a great point, Mo.
Do you recognize each of the clips played in that combined video to be clips that were collected from the various locations that you previously described?
Yes, I do.
All right, and there it is. I'm not gonna play the rest of the video. If y'all want to check out the full video, you can go check it out on Megan Cunniff's YouTube channel. I'll leave the link in the description. What do y'all think about this? Now knowing that A$AP Rocky turned down that plea deal of 6 months in prison and a few years of probation, do you think that was the right move? Looking at this, if you were on the jury and this was the only thing you see, let's just do it for fun. Would this be enough to convict him of those 2 felonies that he's facing? Y'all have to let me know what you think in the comments and in the chat. The ballsy move for him to not take the plea deal. Let's see what y'all said. My guy, Dr. EJ in here. Super supporter, man, and the sponsor of today's stream, just gifted 5 memberships. So if you got a membership from Dr. EJ, again, make sure you say thank you. One of the amazing moderators here, and at day 1 since he showed up on the channel, has continued to show support and give you guys an opportunity to check out the memberships and just support the channel in general. So thank you, Dr. EJ. Thank you for the great work you do out there and for being such a high value gentleman as well. I appreciate you. I don't know. What do y'all think about this A$AP Rocky thing though? Woo! It's going to be tough because again, in California, when it comes to guns, you heard what one of the jurors said. It's like, I don't think people should even, or potential jurors, I don't even think people should own guns. I think it's terrible. Guns are horrible. Now, if they bring up this prop gun defense, I think that's going to create a lot of reasonable doubt for the jury because, one, as Mo mentioned in the chat, we don't know who fired the gun. All we know is that the other guys ran off. A$AP Rocky had something that looked like a real gun, but we don't know if it's a real gun. Then we don't know who fired it. We don't know why it was fired. We don't know if A$AP Rocky fired multiple shots at all. It could have been somebody else in the area firing shots. So, man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. The World's End is in here, says a lot of circumstantial, but wouldn't convict on that alone. I can see that. I definitely can see that. Some of y'all are saying, yeah, Momac says there's no proof he shot the gun. That's a great point. California laws and their systems, most people who aren't rich are taking that deal. Most people who aren't rich aren't living in California. especially LA and Hollywood. But I get there's some people there. But yeah, for real. Tamara Street says, what did he do? We just went through that, and I'll be dropping the clips of it as well. CG Beat says, I think he made the right move. Man, I'm not. He's never been a felon before. And you got to sit in jail for 6 months. To me, it's like, give me nothing or give me 24 years. Again, we wouldn't know. You wouldn't know what you would do in this situation unless you're sitting there. And that's a lot of pressure. You got the DA over there saying, Judge, listen, if he is found guilty, we're going to recommend the whole thing. He obviously has a maximum sentence he could get of 24 years. I can't imagine that would happen. But if it were up to me, Your Honor, I'm going to recommend 10 to 12 years. Rocky has young kids. He's got a wife or a life partner. Hey, yo. As was mentioned in the document or in the article we read earlier, missing 10 to 12 years. Man, I've got kids who are still under 10, so I can't imagine missing that much time. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Connie says, I just don't believe he brought a prop gun to meet with someone who he wasn't on good terms with. Michi says, I'll say it again. Plea deals aren't for everyone. He has the money to fight this case. Fight, man, fight. What did Trump say? Fight. CG Beats, my guys, it's got to be worse than it looks. There's still, oh man, there's still so much that we don't know. And that's going to come out. But again, when it comes to the video evidence, it really isn't substantial other than he had something that looked like a gun. Was it real or was it not? I don't know. Michelle says a felony follows you the rest of your life with a lot of opportunities and stigma associated to it. Absolutely. But they will have to prove it's a real one. Miss 86, especially if no one was actually shot. That's true. California gun laws are funky, says A Fitz. Here in the South, he'd be fine. Out there, it's a crapshoot. Californians do not like guns at all. Absolutely. And then there was, Miss 86 says, but they will have to prove it's a real one. I agree. I agree for sure. And who else was saying, oh, shout out to the Wood entries in here. Said, hey, y'all, best channel ever. I mean, hey, I'll take it. Let's go ahead and get into our next topic. Now, this one's a little bit of breaking news. It took place in the last 12 hours. If y'all haven't heard about this, oh my gosh, this is going to be wild. All right. And shout out to everybody who's just stopping by. If y'all haven't yet, please make sure you like the video. Likes are free and it really does help the channel out. We've got over 700 people in here and over 90% of you have liked the video. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Super easy to do. Really does help out a lot. What do we have? One of my personal favorite artists and an amazing, amazing artist in his own right, Chris Brown, is filing a lawsuit. And this is not just a lawsuit. This is a $500 million lawsuit. We're going to figure out why, and I'm going to tell you guys why here in a second. Let me go ahead and read through this article from TMZ. Chris Brown is not happy with everything that's going on with this new documentary that's coming out. Check it out. TMZ says, Chris Brown, y'all can read. Shout out to YouTube. He's suing Warner Brothers for $500 million over a docuseries. Oh, this is crazy. And again, this is somewhat breaking news. This whole thing is insane. Chris Brown is suing the producers behind Investigation Discovery's Chris Brown, A History of Violence. Hey, yo. The fact that they named it that is crazy. But we'll keep it moving. It's a docuseries alleging the project is full of straight up lies. In new court documents obtained by TMZ, the singer accuses Warner Brothers, Discovery, Ample, and other individuals behind the series of promoting and publicizing defamatory claims against him, even after allegedly being provided with proof that their narrative was false. Now, if y'all haven't seen the trailer for this documentary, I'm gonna play it for you real quick. This is crazy.
I'm sure the girls want to know a couple more questions and things. For the young ladies, I mean, what's up, man? You got a girl or what?
Nah, I'm keeping my options open, so y'all be checking for me, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Thank you so much.
That's the type of stuff will get you in trouble, player.
Nice.
Chris Brown is the name. Get used to that right there.
Chris Brown's an amazing and talented musician, but let's call a thing a thing. He's a abuser of women.
Yeah.
Consistently, unapologetically.
Did Chris pull a gun on that girl? When is your hearing for your restraining order?
There's a long list of various different women
Seem pretty upset. Are you sure you don't really follow victims advocates have them come talk to you?
who've accused Chris Brown of assaulting them.
Senator Chris Brown has been detained in an alleged case of rape.
He has an audience full of assault deniers.
No, I have not spoken about this matter publicly, but that's the only way that he can be stopped.
Chris Brown, a history of violence. Oh my God. Not to mention, there is rumors going around, hasn't been anything solidified yet, that Chris Brown did assault someone at a Diddy party. I don't know if TMZ is going to get into it in this article, but that's something that's rumored out there. Obviously, hasn't been substantiated yet. Not only does Brown state that the Jane Doe at the center of the docuseries has been repeatedly discredited, but he highlights he has never been found guilty of any assault-related crime, we'll say, slamming the docuseries for labeling him as a serial sexual assaulter and abuser. I'm trying to filter this, but gosh, this is amazing. He claims they based the docuseries largely on the lawsuit Jane Doe brought against him, adding she later withdrew the suit because it was full of lies. This lady withdrew the lawsuit, okay? And they made a whole docuseries about something she said, according to the lawsuit withdrawal, didn't happen. Brown says the producers and the Jane Doe chose to disregard fact in order to defame him and his reputation, which he said he spent over a decade repairing. Hey, ain't that the truth? The singer claims he's taken accountability for his past mistakes, including the physical assault on ex-girlfriend Rihanna, and has grown from them, and slams a history of violence producers for pushing an old narrative in the name of fame and fortune. Brown says he's been directly impacted by this docuseries and it's taken a toll on his reputation, career, and business opportunities. So he's seeking $500 million in damages, which he partly plans to donate to the victims of abuse if awarded. Wow. Shout out to Chris Brown. We've reached out to Ample and Warner Brothers Discovery for comment. So far, no word back. Well, that's not the end of things because Chris Brown and his team issued a statement. Ooh-wee. This is tough, man. And I'm going to try and get through this, so y'all bear with me. For immediate release, Chris Brown files $500 million lawsuit against Ample, LLC, and Warner Brothers in response to defamatory documentary. In Los Angeles, California, McCatherine Evans, the attorneys that are representing him, are representing singer, songwriter, and rapper Chris Brown in a $500 million lawsuit filed on January 21st, 2025. So this just happened yesterday afternoon in Superior Court of Los Angeles against Ample, LLC, and Warner Brothers, along with individuals responsible for producing Chris Brown, A History of Violence. Despite being notified of the false and misleading narratives accusing Mr. Brown of heinous acts, including assault and evidence tampering, allegations that have been discredited in court and dismissed as baseless, the defendants released the documentary on October 27, 2024, without regard for Mr. Brown prioritizing profits over journalistic integrity. In doing so, they sensationalized debunked claims to drive viewership and revenue, recklessly damaging Mr. Brown's reputation and spreading false information to the public. To be clear, Mr. Brown has never been found at fault for any type of sexual crime. Central to the documentary's narrative is, and he names Miss Frank there because I'm going to mess up her first name. I think it's Deja Frank, identified as Jane Doe in the film. Her false allegations against Mr. Brown were thoroughly discredited in court years ago. Frank is a documented perpetrator of domestic violence with a history that includes physical assault and threats of violence against her romantic partner. Oh, so she got charges against her as well. Specific to Mr. Brown, it is evident that any interactions and relationship between him and Mrs. Frank were consensual. This is supported by numerous text and voice messages sent by Mrs. Frank to Mr. Brown in which she actively pursued a relationship with him. That doesn't mean he didn't abuse her, but they're going to go on. It is perplexing that these production companies would elevate her discredited claims over the truth established in court, in a court of law. Not only were they established in the court of law, but as we know, she withdrew those claims, right? Despite being fully aware of these facts prior to the documentary's release, Ample LLC and Warner Brothers chose to amplify her defamatory lies, an outrageous act that not only undermines journalistic integrity, but also disrespects the experiences of genuine survivors of intimate partner violence. If she withdrew the lawsuit, they're 1000% correct. And they're saying she withdrew it. She was discredited because of voicemails, because of text messages. Yeah, this is just wrong in every sense of the word. This case is about protecting the truth, said Mr. Brown's attorney, Levi McCathern. Despite being provided with the evidence disproving their claims, the producers of this documentary intentionally promoted false and defamatory information, knowingly disregarding their ethical obligations as journalists. Their actions undermine not only Mr. Brown's decade-long efforts to rebuild his life, but also the credibility of the true survivors of violence, like Rihanna. Anyway, through this legal action, Mr. Brown seeks accountability and aims to stand against the exploitation of misinformation for personal gain. Additionally, a portion of the $500 million will be donated to survivors of abuse. His 2017 documentary, Chris Brown, Welcome to My Life, remains the definitive account of his experiences and growth. For more inquiries, that's where you can reach them. What do y'all think about this lawsuit? $500 million. That's a steep ask, but in Chris Brown's defense, he has done a lot to grow in the public eye, I should say. He's done a lot to change. He's still an amazing performer, an amazing artist. And I think he's thoroughly paid for what he did in this past. So y'all let me know what you think about this, though. Is Chris Brown going to take home a win? Is there going to be a back and forth like we saw in Tony Busby and Jay-Z's case? We'll have to wait and see. Wow. And y'all are asking about a YSL documentary. Yeah, we actually reviewed the one that was done by TMZ. Or not TMZ. It wasn't. Why did I say TMZ? It was done by Law and Crime. Very well done. Don't tell Uncle Doug I said that, though. Doug Weinstein's going to get me for that. I thought it was a great documentary that Law and Crime did. They did an excellent job. Great job of summarizing everything that went on in the YSL trial. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. An Amber Heard donation promise. Oh, don't talk about Amber Heard. Yep, it's over on Tubi. That's right. Facts, Chris should have asked for 1B. Hope you'll never win against labels. If anything, this blackballs him even more. Chris Brown's potential, man. Just with raw talent, I mean, the way he's able to perform, he definitely could have been, I don't know. It could have been Drake status in my opinion, but it's tough, man. Y'all are saying I keep breaking up. Is everything good? Is the sound okay? Let me make sure we're all right. From Rihanna and ASAP Rocky to Chris Brown. Hey, I didn't plan it that way. All right, my bad. Yeah, $500 million. $500 million. Thank you to all the members who are just stopping by too. What else are y'all saying? Chris is better than Drake. I'll leave that up to y'all. When it comes to talent wise, yeah, I think Chris Brown's at the top of the top. For sure. I would definitely go see Chris Brown perform over, I don't know, a lot of people. He's very good at what he does. All right, let me see. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of these super chats. I think I said a shout out to Dr. EJ. I appreciate you. We've got one more thing I want to get into. Do I have this up here? So I wanted to give y'all a little bit of an update on what's going on in the YSL trial. Now we know the YSL trial is set to start the beginning of March. And we talked about what was going on with Judge Whitaker and the back and forth between her and the defense and the prosecution. And obviously she was getting a little bit fed up. But we do have some new motions that were filed by some of the remaining defendants. And we're going to get into it here. This first one's by Demise McMullen. We have a couple motions in limine, basically talking about all of the lyrics and the videos and the photos that are going to be used in the upcoming YSL trial. So I want to get into this first one from Demise McMullen. He sent this to the Honorable Judge Paige Whitaker. And what is he talking about in this motion? He says, comes now. Defendant Demise McMullen by and through undersigned counsel and hereby files this motion in limine in the above reference case. In support of this motion, Mr. McMullen shows as follows. 1. He is presumed innocent, obviously, of the alleged conduct in the above named incident. The state pled in their indictment several instances of purported lyrics from rap artists to include originally named co-defendant Young Thug. We all know the lyrics should have never been let in. Judge Glanville, I don't know what he was thinking. And we even heard from several jurors in the, I don't want to call it the main trial, but in Young Thug's trial say that, I don't even know why they brought the lyrics in here. We weren't concerned about the lyrics. They really didn't have anything to do with the case. And they should have just kept it moving. So they shouldn't have been in there in the first place. But additionally, the state through discovery has served upon defense counsel several hundreds of videos that are music videos or other instances of artistic expression. I think they said over a terabyte, if I remember right. Defense counsel argues that these lyrics are irrelevant to the conduct alleged against this defendant. Their admission would only be highly prejudicial, and their give me a second. And their probative value, if any, is substantially outweighed by the highly prejudicial effect that they would have upon the defense's case. I'm gonna get it, y'all. Lyrics are a form of artistic expression and speech. They are efficiently performed poems, basically. Yeah, that's true. As such, they are protected speech under the First Amendment and Fourth Amendment as well of the United States Constitution, as well as the Georgia Constitution. Lyrics contain all sorts of innuendo, language, and elements of artistic expression. They are not literal. Nicki Minaj, don't bring Nicki into this, did not literally ish on anyone in her song Did It On Him. That's a great song, by the way. any more than the Whalers shot the sheriff in 1973. That is a wild example that they use. That's crazy. The permitted use of lyrics in this trial would effectively infer to the jury that anything these lyrics contain can and should be attributed as confessions of criminal conduct, which is not true. Moreover, the use of lyrics against Mr. McMillan, who is not a rapper, would be highly prejudicial and an egregious violation of the defendant's right to a fair trial. Therefore, lyrics must be excluded from the indictment and excluded from all testimony and evidence presented in trial pursuant to OCGA, and then they go on to list them, as well as the above constitutional mandates. It's crazy. They mentioned Did It On Him by Nicki Minaj. Somebody is crushing on Nicki Minaj, probably. We got to get at Mr. Terrell Dark up in here. Further, any videos, photographs, posts, or like images that deal with these lyrics, words, speech, poetry, artistry must also be excluded from trial in toto, as said videos are protected speech expression as articulated above by the constitutional provisions, as well as the non-probative and overly prejudicial pursuant to the statutory provisions cited above. Wherefore, defendant prays that this court hold a hearing on this motion and grant the defendant the above requested relief by striking any and all references to lyrics pled into the indictment and excludes from evidence at trial all song, speech, lyrics, artistry, videos, or like for use at this trial submitted on Monday, I believe. And that is by Terrell Dark. Now, Mr. Dark was in there in court getting cooked on Monday, but we're going to leave him alone because I think this is a great motion by him as well. Lyrics should have never been brought in. Now, how Judge Whitaker is going to handle that is another question. We don't know. But moving forward, we've got someone who's doubling down. That's going to be Demekion Garlington. And he agrees with what Mr. Dark is saying in his motion. So he filed another motion himself. We've got a defendant's motion in limine to exclude the introduction of rap videos and rap lyrics from trial. They are just piling on. Comes now, defendant Demekion Garlington. He files this. Obviously, he's saying he's not guilty, and we go on and so forth. All right. He wants to leave the music videos out. What happened? On August 5th, 2022, the grand jury indicted Mr. Garlington and his co-defendants with multiple felony counts. The indictment in this case was based in part on the evaluation of video recordings of the defendants, including Mr. Garlington, performing in rap videos or otherwise singing rap lyrics. Mr. Garlington submits that the state intends to introduce these recordings and lyrics at trial as evidence of the defendant's participation in an illegal criminal enterprise, as well as their respective participation in various felony criminal acts. Rap music and lyrics are well-established forms of artistic expression. Again, we have the same thing. Judge Glanville wasn't hearing it. Obviously, Judge Glanville, he had his reasons. Didn't make sense to most of us. Didn't make sense to the defense. We'll see what happens moving forward. Rap music and lyrics are well-established forms of artistic expression, and as such are protected under the First and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, as well as Article 1, Section 1, Paragraph 5 of the Georgia Constitution of 1983. The use of such videos and lyrics by the state, it's in the prosecution of Mr. Garlington and by extension his co-defendants, is improper and a violation of Mr. Garlington's constitutional rights, obviously. Furthermore, since the filing of the indictment, the Georgia Supreme Court held the introduction of such evidence constitutes impermissible character evidence, as it suggests a propensity of criminal conduct that cannot be supported by constitutionally protected artistic expression. Basically, y'all know I am not in these streets. Maybe you don't know, but if I'm in the video, I'm up here and then I just go about my day. I go home, I kiss the kids, I'm going about my day. I'm coaching basketball games. I'm living the life. And then I get back in the studio the next day and I'm like, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm actually living that life. I could just be recording and I'm going about my regular day. It doesn't make sense that these would be allowed in. And just because somebody said something in the song doesn't mean they actually committed the crime. It's straightforward. Based on the foregoing, this criminal court should not permit the state to introduce an aforementioned video and lyrics into evidence in this case. Such evidence would violate Mr. Garlington's constitutional rights and deny him a fair trial, as the purported evidence would only serve to confuse and potentially inflame the passions of the jury. And let's be real, we've seen throughout this YSL trial that most of these guys that are rapping about these lyrics and that are saying these things, Young Thug included, aren't really living this life. The people around them might be living this life. They might have known somebody that lived this life that they talk about, but they ain't doing all that. Wherefore, Mr. Garlington respectfully requests that this court follow all arguments on this issue, enter an order granting his motion to exclude all these recordings and lyrics from the trial of this case. Respectfully submitted on this day, Mr. Thomas Mondelli. All right, shout out to him. We've got more though. They're not done. Christian Eppinger is throwing his hat into the ring as well. What is he saying? Motion in limine against the use of inflammatory and prejudicial photographs by the state. They are coming from Viverito's job, y'all. Super investigator stalker Viverito is not going to have a job if Judge Whitaker grants all these motions in limine, because who's going to be screenshotting all these Instagram posts, Instagram stories? I mean, she's not going to have anything to do. What does Christian Eppinger say? Comes now the defendant through undersigned counsel pursuant to the 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments. Oh my God. Of the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the state of Georgia, and moves this court for an order excluding from evidence photographs of an inflammatory and or irrelevant nature, and which are unduly prejudiced and without probative value, and in support shows as follows. The defendant is charged with a criminal felony offense. On information and belief, the defendant believes that the state has in its possession photographs of alleged victims, crime scene photographs, and or autopsy photos, which the state will offer into evidence in this case. The photographs of the alleged victim are particularly gruesome and inflammatory. It further believes that the victim also underwent extensive treatment and or surgery after the initial injuries that greatly increased the size, scope, and nature of the appearance of the victim's initial wounds. The omission of photographs of the alleged victim's injuries can only serve to prejudicially inflame the jury and cannot serve to enlighten them in any relevant manner. Since it is difficult to separate the underlying initial injuries from the extensive treatment and or surgical intervention that was performed in this case. Wherefore, defendant respectfully asks the court to leave them things out of there. And that's Eric Johnson. What else do we have? Christian Eppinger again. He's in here fighting. They're fighting so hard to get the prosecution to walk a straight line. We'll see what happens in this case, because I think Christian Eppinger, he's got an uphill battle to fight. We'll see what Judge Whitaker says. What else does he have? The motion in limine against the use of inflammatory and prejudicial language by the state. Comes now the above named defendant by and through the undersigned attorney moves this court in limine for an order instructing the district attorney and any and all of his agents and each and every witness of the state to refrain from absolutely from the following: making any reference, direct or indirect, to any potential witness as a victim. Oh man, we know the state likes to do that. This is going to be a tough one, I think, to win. Defendant shows that these terms are highly inappropriate and prejudicial, and the legal conclusion of whether an individual is a victim of a crime is a question of the question for the determination of a jury. I mean, if you were shot, and especially in Christian Eppinger's case, aren't you a victim? I don't know about this one, y'all. If I'm shot, I'm a victim. I don't care what y'all say. I mean, I didn't shoot myself, so okay. Making any reference, direct or indirect, to any of the defendant's acts or omissions as a crime or a criminal act, Defendant shows that these terms are highly inappropriate and prejudicial, and that the legal conclusion of whether a crime has occurred is a question for the determination of the jury. The reason they say this is because their defense for Christian Eppinger is going to be, oh, it was self-defense. He didn't know it was a police officer. He didn't see the unmarked or the officer that wasn't in uniform on the other side that he shot at. So he was scared. It was self-defense. He defended himself. He didn't technically commit a crime. But even if someone is breaking into my house and I shoot them, are they a victim of a gunshot wound? Aren't they? I mean, I get the criminal part and the crime. That's to be determined by the jury, but the victim part, I don't see how they win that one. I don't know. Y'all tell me. You guys are way smarter than me. Wherefore, the defendant respectfully requests that this court inquire into and consider the motion in limine prior to the trial of the instant case. Sustain this motion in limine, obviously, and make sure that they don't say victim or crime. Okay, Mr. Eric Johnson. I don't know about that one, man, but we'll see. Defendants, another one from Christian Eppinger. Where's DJ Khaled at? Defendants motion in limine to exclude the introduction of rap videos and rap lyrics from the trial. All right, so he's joining in with Demekion Garlington and the gang, or I should say gang, excuse me. Come now, defendant Christian Eppinger, and files this motion in limine to exclude the introduction of rap videos and rap lyrics for the same reason stated before, right? Mr. Eppinger is presumed innocent of the charge in the above indictment. On August 5th, 2022, a grand jury indicted him, okay? The indictment in this case was based in part on the evaluation of video recordings of the defendants, including Mr. Eppinger performing in rap videos or otherwise singing rap lyrics. The state pled in the redacted indictment served upon the defense counsel on January 20th of 2025 several instances of the purported lyrics from rap artists, to include originally named co-defendant Young Thug. Additionally, the state, through discovery, has served upon the defense counsel several hundreds of videos, which are music videos or other instances of artistic expression where rap lyrics are cited or prominently displayed. If they keep them in, hopefully we get to hear them. We can have a DJ party on the live stream. Furthermore, since the filing of the indictment, the Georgia Supreme Court, we know they said, y'all can't be doing that. In Baker versus State, Mr. Eppinger submits that the state intends to introduce these recordings and lyrics at trial as evidence of the defendant's participation in an illegal criminal enterprise, as well as his respective participation in various felony criminal predicate acts. Lyrics are a form of artistic expression and speech. We know, we saw this in the other motion, right? Lyrics, you have a First and 14th Amendment right to be able to use this as an artistic expression, as well as the Georgia Constitution says the same thing. Lyrics are not literal recitations. There we go. Of past events, and contain all sorts of role-playing, sensationalism, innuendo, hyperbole, language, and elements of artistic expression, which should not be attributed as confessions of criminal conduct. I agree. Defense counsel argues that the lyrics are irrelevant to the conduct alleged against this defendant. We know in one song, Young Thug talks about 12 and, certain things. There's other songs that talk about 12 and what they're going to do to 12. We won't go into that. Defense counsel argues that these lyrics are irrelevant to the conduct alleged against this defendant, are highly prejudicial, and that their probative value, if any, is substantially outweighed by the highly prejudicial effect that they would have upon the defendant's case. Defendant counsel contends that the use of such videos and lyrics by the state in the prosecution of Mr. Eppinger, and by extension his co-defendants, is improper and a violation of the Mr. Eppinger's constitutional rights. I think they put that extra word in there. Additionally, any videos, photographs, posts, or like images that deal with the lyrics, words, speech, poetry, artistry must also be excluded from this trial. Viverito is crying right now. Dang. As said videos are protected speech and expression as articulated above by the constitutional provisions, as well as non-probative and overly prejudicial pursuant to the statutory provisions cited above. Based on the foregoing, this court should not permit the state to introduce the aforementioned videos and lyrics into evidence in this case. Such evidence would violate Mr. Eppinger's constitutional rights and deny him a fair trial, as the purported evidence would only serve to confuse and potentially inflame the passions of the jury. I agree. Wherefore, Mr. Eppinger respectfully requests that this honorable court hold a hearing on the merits of this motion, and following all arguments on this issue, enter an order granting his motion to exclude any and all references to any and all recordings, songs, speech, lyrics, artistry, videos, or the like from the trial of this case. Now, y'all know Judge Whitaker loves to have a smooth, consistent trial. If this is granted by her, she's going to have to go through all of this evidence. And if she hasn't yet, I'm sure she's not going to be happy about that. But either way, she's going to have to review them, and they're going to have to go case by case, instance by incident, overt act by overt act, trying to decide if she's going to let these in or not. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat about this. Are most of these motions going to be granted? Is Judge Whitaker going to have to go back through these videos and lyrics and Viverito screenshots again? Have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. And again, thank you to everybody who's in here showing love, man. Over 700 of y'all still in the building. I saw Amy over there. My awesome, amazing Amy dropped the banana. She's ready to have lunch. I know, Amy. It's almost time. Connie says, oh, he's not the victim there. Likely to describe him as a survivor, as being a victim implies fault. Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Please leave Chris Proud alone. Yeah, let him. I don't know why they're doing C Breezy like that, man. Mr. Brown is in here, says, good morning, Classy Beats and everyone. I'm at the doctor, but I didn't want to miss watching. Appreciate you being here, man. Hopefully you get a clean bill of health. And good morning to everybody who's just stopping by. Angela Davis is in here as well. And Ashley says there needs to be limiting instruction. Yeah, the DT can't be a victim of Yak, Thug, or Shannon. They were found not guilty and pleaded nolo, so they were not responsible. Thug didn't plead anything to a particular gang. I can't believe these gang charges are still going. But I don't know who they have to thank for that. Maybe Gunna. Yeah, I don't know. Right Street says, I hate the IRS freaking 1099-T. Can't even let money sit in your savings account. They're going to get all that. They're going to get all of that. Yeah, we'll see what happens, if anything, to the IRS over the next 4 years. That's our only hope at this point. Just Lee says, I think she is over the BS evidence. I think if Judge Whitaker looks at these lyrics, she's not going to let him in. She's not going to let the videos in. So I'm with you on that, Just Lee. Judge Whitaker is a straight shooter, and she says, listen, he's allowed to hold a gun in the video and say 12. That's going to get clipped and taken out of context. Anyway, you know, we're going to spin the block, blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever. He's legally and constitutionally allowed to do that. And just because he goes out and acts in self-defense, allegedly, against a police officer who didn't announce themselves, someone who was not in uniform, shouldn't be allowed in as evidence. It's not an overt act, especially in a lot of these cases where the lyrics are written by somebody else. The songs are recorded months, years before it's actually released. I mean, come on, man. He said I'm a low-key gangster. Oh, no. I stay inside. I go to the studio. I go to church. I go to the house. And every now and then I'll go to Publix. That's about it. Y'all ain't gonna catch me out here. Oh, in the gym. I stay in the gym. But yeah, that's about it. Y'all ain't gonna catch me outside. Rush Street said Trump needs to fix this ish. We can only hope, man. We can only hope. All right, y'all. It's been an amazing show. Thank y'all for the love and support. Thank you to the 100% of you that liked the video. We got 650 of y'all in here, 657 likes. Thank y'all for the support. Big shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Dr. EJ, my guy. Salute. Thank you for always supporting. Y'all know we are going to be here every single weekday. We do not miss. Appreciate y'all showing support. We'll be back tomorrow. Have some updates for you when it comes to the YSL trial, and maybe we'll have some news on the jury selection with ASAP Rocky. Who knows what's going to happen here? Y'all make sure you like the video if you haven't on your way out. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time that we go live. Speaking of, we will be live here tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Song of the Night Live. We're going to be listening to some amazing music from the independent artists here in the community. So if you enjoy that and you want to check it out, and you'll actually get an opportunity to vote during tonight's Versus Challenge, tune into the show tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. And as always, keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace.